This is From Destruction to Dignity with Janice Pons. Each week, Janice shares her wisdom to enlighten, educate, and advance the culture in America today. Janice Pons is a mother, author, and free thinker, and your host for our podcast this evening. Now let's join your host, Janice Pons.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Janice Pons. I'm the host on this podcast, From Destruction to Dignity, Clinical Perspectives, Spiritual Truths. Tonight, we're going to continue our amazing journey together. I am having such an amazing time with my audience, with you all, my fellow Americans. I want to say shout out to the people around the world who are downloading the podcast through the auditory venue through which, like the Apple Podcast and all those venues and platforms. Thank you. Shout out to Singapore, Australia, Finland, the Constitutional Republic of the United States of America, Africa, and Egypt. I'm going to do an updated analysis so I can get a update of, I checked with Buzzsprout and they were telling me those names, and so I'm going to check with them again after the subsequent quarter of this year and see if I can get more recent an update. But those countries, I was just so amazed, so humble, so grateful. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for all of my listeners. I appreciate you greatly. God bless America. God bless you. Listen, here we are. We're going to continue on this specific path related to gaining a clearer understanding of how our nation is structured, how it's supposed to work. Our flag behind us is going to continually be there as it represents us being connected as an amazing nation. Our seal right here reminds us the importance of praying for the president of this nation. You know who I'm going to continue to call out every week. The 265,900,000 working Americans who were living paycheck to paycheck in 2024, barely making ends meet. It was rough. So when I see all of the things that are unfolding in our nation since President Trump was inaugurated in January, I am hopeful. I know right here in Oklahoma, the United Arab Emirates, they have invested $4 billion into support of Tulsa. That's in Inola. That is going to be, from what I understand, it's going to be the largest plant for producing aluminum, various presentations of aluminum in the nation. And when I hear people talk about Trump, I heard Hakeem Jeffries actually saying that he's crashing the economy and that we're well on our way to a recession. It was a bona fide lie. These people in Oklahoma, in the little town of Inola, they're going to have starting salaries of $80,000 a year. That's promising. And so these are the kinds of things that are going on in Oklahoma. A previous podcast, we dealt with what's going on in Houston, Texas, and he was saying companies are not even investing in business. That's a bona fide lie. It's just not true, sir. Why are you saying that when Apple and their president has already met with President Trump and they are investing billions of dollars? Saudi Arabia, billions of dollars. The other Arab nations and other businesses, listen, they're leaving China. They're coming here. To God be the glory. Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. And so we're excited. Those 265,900,000 Americans, they are going to be a part of those people that things are going to turn around. We've got to keep praying for them. We've got to keep praying that businesses are coming to the table. Let's see, it's Japan. The Prime Minister of Japan had negotiated with President Trump about the steel industry. And I think it's Nippon, N-I-P-P-O-N, I think it's Nippon. What they've done is a partnership that's going to take steel making and products in our nation to an entirely other level. Guys, these are things that were not going on 4 years ago. We were just going in the wrong direction. And 79% of Americans period, across the board, said that the country was going in the wrong direction. And so the majority of the citizens spoke loud and clear at the polls last year, saying, listen, the thing that's important to us, this is what the majority of Americans said, the thing that's important to us is the economy and illegal immigration. That's why President Trump won. And we see what's going on with the economy, yes. And as far as illegal immigration is concerned, at the border, illegal immigrants crossing our borders, gosh, within 30 days of Donald John Trump being inaugurated this term, it's gone down 94%. It got up, I saw a figure that said 99%. We'll take in the 90%, you know, considering what was going on. That's amazing. Kudos to him. So stop lying on this man, Mr. Hakeem Jeffries, and all the rest of you. Just tell the truth. It is what it is. It is what it is. So we have a mandate. We have a position of a mandate where we spoke loud and clear, the majority of Americans, saying that we wanted something different, and we have it, and we love it. And we're just praying that we can unite as one. We have a new leader. We have Capitol Hill. There's a lot of dynamics going on. There's a lot at stake. And a determination has been made. And tonight we're going to examine something that has generated a lot of conversation. There are a lot of conversations going on in the Constitutional Republic of the United States of America. And one that has been front and center has been obstruction by judges and journalists. What do we mean by obstruction by journalists? Because they get on the mainstream media and they lie and they lie and they lie. And they have a particular goal in these distorted, deceptive presentations that they give us, is that they want to obstruct the progress of our president and our nation moving forward. Now just think about that for a second. They want to obstruct it. Same with these judges. So we have rogue, we dealt with rogue players. That was about 2-3 podcasts ago. Rogue players, and they're judges and journalists. They're rogue. On The View, they're rogues. All those women, they're rogues. Listen to what they say. Toxicity. They just exude with toxicity, as evidenced by what, Janice? You know, I'm not just slinging out words. It's their behavior. It's what they say. Are they unifying us? Are they unifying us, growing as a nation? Us empowering our children? Us empowering our schools and our families? Who's talking about solutions? So tonight we're going to dissect the dynamics of, when we talked about this somewhat, but we're going to dissect, we're going to go down a specific path related to all of this, excuse me, related to obstruction by judges and journalists, and the dynamics that creates ties in with our clinical perspective, which is the power of safety and security. Imagine that, safety and security. That's what our borders being protected is all about. That was one of the driving points of why President Trump won. He said he was committed to keeping us safe and secure. Oh yeah, our military, their number one goal is to protect us from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Do we have any people domestically that jeopardize our safety and our security? Let's move forward. Remember, I always say that we're going somewhere and it's expecting us when we get there. Come and go with me. White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller delivered a bold warning on social media, and this is what it entailed. He was accusing judges and journalists of obstructing President Trump's plan to secure the southern border. Now think about that. His job is to protect us. And we have judges and journalists that are presenting an entire dynamic, an entire monologue and words and actions that are attempting to stop that. Stop us being safe, stop us being secure. In a message posted to X, Stephen Miller described the situation not as a legal dispute, but as a full-scale invasion of the United States. And that's where that Alien Invasion Act came in. We've only used it 3 times in our nation, and it was when our nation was being threatened. The safety and the security of our nation was being threatened, and that's what it is constitutional. That's what President Trump has been executing all of these actions related to, simply to keep us safe. Go back and listen to the podcast about what happened to that family down in North Carolina. Oh yeah. This is Lake and Riley all over our nation. The Venezuelan gangs that were taking over apartments in Arizona, guys. These things aren't things that Donald Trump was making up. Why would someone want to protect that? We want people to come to our nation, but we want them to come in the right way. We don't want an invasion. And that was why Kamala Harris, that's why the Obama-Biden-Harris cabal lost. That's why the Democratic Party's approval rating was 27% earlier this year. These aren't my opinions. I don't too much deal with my opinions on here. Y'all know that. I'm on here to provoke thought, bring awareness, and us looking at intervention. And talking is an intervention because you got to get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. But in all that getting, get understanding. That's what this podcast is about. From destruction to dignity, clinical perspectives, spiritual truths. Let's move forward. Miller rejected the idea that mass illegal immigration could be treated like standard enforcement. He said, wait a minute, this isn't some standard come see, come saw kind of issue. Mass illegal immigration, we're talking about an invasion. It can't be treated like a standard enforcement. He said the American people had witnessed a coordinated effort to undermine national sovereignty and called the last 4 years of the Obama-Biden-Harris cabal. He called it a period of occupation, not immigration. Strong language, but it's true. They were just set up on the streets, people defecating on the streets. I mean, it has been a madhouse. And they were just steady bringing them in, even flying them in, dropping them off in communities, and they were COVID positive. That post that was on X described entire communities as having been taken over and said the U.S. Treasury had been looted during the crisis. Miller stated that the nation had been through a destructive period that tore apart democratic processes and our national identity. He pointed to the 2024 election as a clear answer to whether Americans were prepared to accept that situation or reject it. So did we accept it or did we reject it? The majority of we, the people, said we reject it. Fair and square, it was loud and clear. According to Miller, voters delivered a mandate for President Trump to reverse course and restore control over the border. Miller warned that if every illegal immigrant is granted an individual trial before deportation, then the country will not be able to recover. They want to tie us up in all of these antics and these procedural time-laden. Listen, on this talking about time-laden, on this whole catch and release thing that they were doing, do you know that they could be released and roam our streets for up to 15 years? Wow. So the first one that the president that has focused on getting out of here were those 13,900 who were convicted, found guilty by jury or judge, or they said they were guilty of homicide and kidnapping, amongst other things. You see these dynamics? Mr. Miller warned that if every illegal immigrant, man, they could roam around for 15 years. Are you kidding me? If every one of them were granted an individual trial before deportation, the country won't be able to recover. We've been taking care of them. While 265,900,000 working Americans were living paycheck to paycheck, barely making ends meet, and our payroll deductions were paying for their housing, their health care, their child daycare, their free money card, their education, all of this, paying for all of that, while working Americans were losing their homes. Miller asserted that such delays would only cement the crisis and allow the invasion to continue under the guise of legal procedure. See, that's these courts, they want to tie everything up. We're paying for it. We're still paying for it. He also cited Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution, which requires the federal government to defend the country from invasion. Guys, everything the president has executed and is standing on is related to the Constitution. Miller made clear that district courts have no authority to override this duty, describing the Constitution as the highest law in the land. It's the law of the nation. The post on X concluded with a call for action. Miller stated that foreign trespassers could be removed and that the drug cartels fueling the crisis would be dismantled. He ended with a message that struck a chord among conservatives, and this is what the message is. Liberation will be achieved. This is why we must pray for Donald John Trump. Guys, folk have almost become, there are a lot of people, they got a lot of delusional thought processes going on. You just hear what they're saying. We're talking about the basic upholding of our Constitution. This is why we talk about on this podcast, how our nation is structured. Our president, what he's been doing is based on the Constitution. So we're talking about people that are guilty of assault, battery, domestic violence, kidnapping, homicide. We're talking about thousands of people, burglary, robbery. They're roaming the streets. Larceny, theft, fraud. Let me stop right there with fraud. The very thing that Letitia James in New York was going after Donald Trump about, she's being pegged on the same thing, lying about property in Brooklyn, New York. Fannie Willis down in Georgia. Oh yeah, she's been called out. See, guys, we gotta pray. We just want the right thing. We want the right thing. So they want to use their orchestrated lawfare against President Trump, sticking these fraud charges on him, and come to find out they just as guilty as the day is long. We got people running around here that are illegal, that are under the influence of drugs, that are peddling fentanyl. They're driving under the influence, and I might add that fentanyl overdoses, the group in America, the two groups in America that lead the country in deaths from overdose of fentanyl. And fentanyl is, you don't know what you smoking today in terms of weed. It's mixed in with all kinds of drugs. I know somebody here in Tulsa, they lost their nephew. She was weeping and crying. He smoked a joint, laced in fentanyl. It killed him. Right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. God bless you. God bless you. So a lot of y'all know who that is. She was broken. Broken. Black Americans lead. There's the number one group in America dying from fentanyl overdoses. And secondly is Native Americans. Oh yeah, look it up. So we got people driving around under the influence, illegal immigrants. We want you here, but we want you here legally. You got to come in the right way. Guilty of homicide, manslaughter, kidnapping. Go look up the illegal immigrants that killed those beautiful people in Fayetteville. I think it was Fayetteville, North Carolina. Go look it up. Go look it up now, you naysayers that want to attack me. I'm exposing truth. The Bible says that we're to expose the unfruitful works of darkness. Call it what it is. Illegal drug possession, trafficking, addiction issues, taking our people out. I lost my entire immediate family over this stuff. You think I'm not passionate? And people get uncomfortable with me talking about that. Listen, they told me to talk about it because they didn't want other people to be taken out. So y'all need to grow up and let it become a part of our platform. If you knew what we could do as a family unit, instead of y'all targeting me and thinking something wrong with me, they didn't think anything was wrong with me. They said, you better go get those people. Oh yes, I'm on a mandate from them. They're in a great cloud of witnesses. I'm on a mandate from them. So get used to it. We got people to save. We have precious people in our nation. And you got people walking around offended because somebody's speaking truth. Illegal entry, re-entry. These are the dynamics that our president is protecting us from. Somebody needs to be paying attention. That would be us. That would be us. Illegal weapons possession, transporting, trafficking, little children being trafficked, people coming across the border in vehicles that are sealed up, coming across illegally. You can come in, but come in the right way. Even the ones he's deporting, he said, y'all can come back. You can come back. Oh, yeah, we welcome you back, but you got to come in the right way. Offenses where they're infringing upon someone's body. Oh, yeah. Let me go on and address that because I know y'all. I know some of you said, well, Trump did something. Oh, you talking about that bogus charge that happened 30 years ago? See, that's the same thing they did with Herman Cain. Some woman, this is what they do. They have some woman to emerge. Then she goes off into the wild blue yonder, and we hear no more. Donald Trump was the only one that could pay off millions and millions of dollars for this orchestrated lawfare. I can easily prove it. Go on Amazon and order Dr. Howard Hatcher's book, on Trump 45 and the black man parallel. Yeah, that's what I said. Trump 45 and the black man parallel. It was #1 in 4 different categories the first weekend that it came out on Amazon. I was right smack in the middle of helping to push that out. It was powerful, and it talks about that orchestrated lawfare that was perpetrated against President Trump. He was the only one that could afford to fight it. He fought millions and millions of dollars. So I thank God that this venue had to pay him $25 million. ABC, $15 million. CBS, millions. Hold them accountable. You know, I've done podcasts in the past about documentation. Keep a log. You think he wasn't keeping a log? Good for him. I know the power of that myself, sir. So, guys, listen, a lot of dynamics going on here. You see, there's been a wicked, diabolical plan to obstruct safety and security in our nation by who? Judges. We pay for their salary. And journalists. One of the best things that some of you can do as we move forward here is to turn the mainstream media off. It's got your mind so warped that you cannot, we're surrounded by people that cannot even utilize basic logic and deductive reasoning. It'll get you a long way. From a clinical perspective tonight, tying in with what we've talked about regarding obstruction by judges and journalists, we're going to talk about the power of safety and security. Oh, yeah, safety and security. Safety and security are vital for individual well-being, societal stability, and economic prosperity. They provide protection from harm, reduce fear and anxiety, and what else? It enables individuals to thrive. Imagine an America that thrives, and we're teaching that to our children and our youth, and we're structuring everything, and the pulpits push it, and the schools push it, and the families talk about what that's about. Why? To protect us from harm, reduce fear, reduce anxiety, and to enable we, the people, to thrive. Furthermore, these components are crucial for building trust in institutions, fostering healthy workplaces, and creating a foundation for progress and prosperity. Guys, I'm telling you, I know in my knower that if President Trump had his way talking about prosperity, all of us would be millionaires, and a lot of us are going to be. Imagine here in Little Inola, Oklahoma, starting off with a salary of $80,000. I am so grateful and so excited for these people. And this is going to happen all over our nation. Leave him alone. Pray for him. Open up your blinded eyes. Listen, let's dissect this these dynamics related to safety and security. In summary, safety and security are indispensable for ensuring the protection, stability, and well-being of individuals and societies. We have to have it. They enable progress and prosperity while safeguarding, guys, against what? Risk, making them a cornerstone of a functioning and thriving community or organization. Now, let's look at, I'm going to elaborate. Let's look at elaboration here. What would happen if we all had an individual sense of well-being? Every, every American, guys, God, right up the street from me where I'm recording right now, they're just on the street with signs. We see them everywhere. They are not experiencing a sense of well-being. Our veterans not experiencing a sense of well-being. But boy, they were trying to make the last administration, the last cabal, they were trying to make illegal immigrants have a sense of well-being while our veterans were on the streets homeless. What would happen if we all had an individual sense of well-being, including the ones that come in the right way? Feeling safe and secure is a fundamental human need. It allows individuals to focus on their goals, build relationships, and live without the constant fear and anxiety that can hinder their mental and physical health. What would happen if we had societal stability? A sense of safety and security is essential for functioning as a society. It enables people to participate fully in community life, trust institutions, and contribute to overall well-being of our communities. What would happen, guys? Think about it. All this is doable. We've done this before. We just gotta put aside our difference and go, okay, let's agree on this right here. Let's have our solution focus resolve on these things right here. There are many of us, we're going after it, man. We're going after it. I will lead the pack. What will happen if we had economic prosperity? Safety and security are crucial for attracting investment. It attracts investment, promoting trade and fostering innovation. When businesses and individuals feel safe, you know, some of them say, I'm not going in that neighborhood. They tear up everything. Had Walmart's moving out of urban communities. Why? People going in there stealing everything, tearing down everything. When that kind of thing is going on, they're not going to invest. They're not going to take risk. They're not going to create jobs. They don't want to risk their money to have a drive in economic growth. But boy, our president, along with these players that are coming to the table now, yeah, the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, boy, they'll come with their security too. They got the money to cover it because we ain't playing. We want safety. What would happen if we had this a workplace culture, a church culture, guys? Wow. Jamal Bryant, you're focused on the wrong thing. You're always focusing on black people being offended. And talking about your men, these black men selling weed. Wrong focus. What would happen if we had a culture that prioritized safety in workplaces and churches and communities, which leads to a healthier, more productive and happier workforce, church congregation, body of Christ, temples, mosques, churches, schools, families, communities. It reduces the risk of accidents and injuries, protecting both employees, companies, communities, churches, mosques, tabernacles, people. What would happen if we had trust in institutions? A lot of Americans have lost trust in institutions, guys, but what would happen if we had trust? Trust is earned. A strong sense of safety and security is built on trust in institutions like law enforcement, government, and healthcare. When people trust these institutions to protect them, they are more likely to cooperate and participate in society. What would happen if we had workplace security? Securing workplaces against cyber threats, physical harm, and theft protects employees and the company's valuable assets. What would happen if we had public safety, effective safety measures such as police patrol, community policing, emergency services, and public awareness campaigns? All of this contributes to a sense of security in public spaces. And people will get to the point of like, you're not doing this in our community. We built this up. We're protecting this. This is where our children thrive. This is where we are working together to protect one another. I live in a beautiful community, and I love it. And we just look out for each other. My neighbors across the street, they don't even speak English, but boy, do we communicate. They look out for me, and I look out for them in my beautiful new home. I love it, and they have a beautiful new home, too. We want to take care of our community. I'm happy for them, and they're happy for me. Listen, what have we looked at tonight? I am such an open book. My heart is to protect our nation. We got a lot going on. And we come on here, I come on here to provoke thought, to bring awareness and point us towards intervention. And tonight, we've looked at this demonic, diabolical presentation that's going on in our nation to obstruct safety and security. And it's being perpetrated on us by judges and journalists. And we are saying, the buck stops here. There's a new sheriff in town, and we the people, we have a GOP trifecta, and we need Congress to step up to the plate and say enough is enough, because this stuff they're doing is unconstitutional. Y'all need to go in and write these bills and vote in the Senate and the House and just roughshod right over these naysayers that are trying to thrust us in a position where we're not safe and secure. It is what it is. I don't care. I don't give 2 cents about Democrat and Republican and Independent. I care about America. And whatever party is pushing safety and pushing for us to move forward with policies and procedures that secure us as Americans, I'm all for it. Listen, we're going somewhere. Yes, we are. We are going somewhere, and it's expecting us when we get there. Come and go with me. I appreciate you. I bless you. I speak blessings over you and your family, over this nation, over the White House, over every citizen, over every child, every man, woman, boy, and girl in this great nation. I speak blessings over us all. I pray that we all come together as one. A house divided against itself cannot stand. However, there is power in unity. There is power in love. Can you see why the enemy of our souls, our mind, our will, our emotions, our intellect, our drive, and our desires has made a ferocious attempt to keep us separated and bickering? I don't want it. And there are millions of others. We are coming together, and I'm telling you what, just watch out. We're going somewhere. It's expecting us when we get there. And we just simply say, come and go with us as we go together from destruction to dignity. Clinical perspectives, strategies, skills, and tools. A way of thinking. A way of challenging each other. A way of loving and respecting each other. We're going from destruction to dignity. Clinical perspectives. Spiritual truths. God bless you. I'll see you next week. Good night.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of From Destruction to Dignity with Janice Pons. Janice's mission is to provoke thought, bring awareness, and point people towards intervention when needed. As a reminder, this show is not therapy, but for educational purposes only. For more information, check out JanicePons.com or follow her on social media.
We are one power, strength is ours, liberty, been set free, education, affirmation, dedication, information, revelation.